Whoa, 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 I know. It's a rumor. It's a rumor, okay? It's only been mentioned by My Time to Shine Hello over on X, okay? Nothing else. No Kevin Feige, no Bob Iger, no Kathleen Kennedy. I don't know why she would be making these announcements, but whatever. It's a new world. Anyway, what is interesting about this, though, is that it has a distinct possibility of happening. Here's the headline from Spencer Picculi over at boundingintocomics.com. The rumor is Madam Web star Sydney Sweeney is being eyed for Black Cat in the Marvel version, by the way, the MCU's version of Spider-Man 4. This will be like a joint venture with Sony again, but it sounds like Marvel, being Disney, will have more control this time. Now, the reason why this stands out and why this is important, not only because it was locked behind a subscriber wall, but also because it was, it pertains to time period after Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, that's what I was trying to get to. Sorry, it's a lot of thoughts on my mind. There's a lot of things to consider with a character like Black Cat, if you know what I mean. It's a lot of decision making that needs to be done. Quite a lot of that. Anyway, back to the article here. We're good people here. We're good people. We know what's up. But anyway, so again, this comes from My Time to Shine. Hello, from behind a subscriber wall over on August 18th. Today is the 19th. Surprise. Hello. So here we are. The situation is that as reported with this post that Sweeney is being eyed for this role, also it should be known that the Daredevil directors Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead are also pretty much locked in to be the directors for this new Spider-Man 4 movie. Perhaps together or perhaps in tandem. Like you have one of them working on the creative end of the directing, and the other one working on the delivery end of it. Who knows? They do things very strange over there at Marvel. Remember, James Gunn was telling us how they film 7 different scenes and then decide which one makes it into the final movie. Why all these reshoots happen. It's kind of like how that Captain America Brave New World movie is going to be one of those choose your own adventure stories when you finally get the DVD, if it ever comes out on physical, that is. All the deleted scenes will just basically you'll be able to make your own movie out of it. Oh, yeah, no, thanks. I'll just take the Rise of Skywalker version of Captain America. Thank you very much. But what really is important about this is that after Deadpool and Wolverine have done so well, of course, over $1 billion, amazing kind of performance worldwide. Everybody and their brother enjoyed that movie. If you didn't enjoy all of it, there were bits and pieces that you really enjoyed. I personally really enjoyed seeing Wesley Snipes return as Blade, one of the more colorful returns, in my opinion. I didn't really care for Channing Tatum playing My Name is Jeff, the Cajun. I'm sorry, every time he tried his Cajun accent, all I hear is, My name Jeff, every time. And sorry, it's just me, I guess. I don't know. But what matters is that now Marvel is incentivized, and especially their shareholders, are incentivized to make a somewhat dramatic turn toward the norm, all right? And what I mean by the norm is that Sydney Sweeney is a conventionally attractive young lady, as you can see right here in this picture here. And yeah, she'll be playing Black Cat in this rumor, okay? So this tracks, all right? A lady who's top heavy, like Miss Sweeney, and a character who is top heavy, like Black Cat, okay? If you're not familiar with Black Cat, she showed up around the end of the 70s in the Spider-Man comics, somewhere before number 200. I'm not a Spider-Man aficionado. I just keep track of the numbers when characters appear because they're kind of neat. It's like those like number 300 ones with the villains that we're kind of used to and the side characters that we're used to show up. That's kind of when those show up. It's basically when the main character runs out of like one guy missions to do and they need a second B plot to happen in the story in order to keep things moving along without it being a repeat of a story that was told before. It's not necessarily like, okay, boys, we need a busty jewel thief. What do we got? What do we got in the file folder here? There's this Warren Hardy guy. We're gonna put Warren Hardy in here, and he's gonna. I think it's Warren, right? Or is that a real person? No, it's Warren Buffett is the real person. Warren Hardy is her father. Yeah, he was a cat burglar. Ha 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 ha. I see. So Warren Hardy has a daughter now, and she's Peter's age, and he taught her all she knows about criming. Yes, committing crime. Do crime, yes. He taught her all about it, and now she's a notorious jewel thief because she was raised that way since she was a child. And through interacting with Spider Man, she becomes a better person, and slowly her morality evolves into that of a hero. But it's not necessarily a night to day sort of thing. Very much mirrors the trajectory of Catwoman, as seen in the Batman stories, as she came across a hero and was reformed through her in Felicia's case, it's much more to do with the physical attraction she has to Spider-Man, not necessarily Peter. Uh, she always sort of seemed turned off by Peter being a nerd and wimpy, kind of like how Lois would go back and forth over Clark being like standoffish and of course wimpy in public in order to deter attention from the super alter ego. This annoyed Felicia because she felt that Spider-Man was superior to Peter and there wouldn't be a reason to hide that. But it is what it is, right? And that probably won't be the trajectory that they follow with this character. She'll probably be more like the 1990s animated series version. Still the daughter of Warren Hardy, still raised to be a cat burglar, still having a blurred morality, that kind of thing, but it'll probably skew more into like its revenge on her father that she takes an interest in Spider-Man. Pardon me. That she takes an interest in Spider-Man. It's probably more in the line of like, I'm going to get back at my father for raising me to be a criminal and defying me of my, denying me of my own life and choices and decisions. Which again is not a bad plot line, and again, it's sort of a return to form. We see a lot of female characters who do have an issue with their father and choose heroism in this case as opposed to villainy as a way to get back at him. And again, before the late 90s, this was a pretty popular trope to have the daughter of a villain become enamored with the hero and thus become reformed through her romantic attraction to him. And so this again, very simple, like, square peg goes in square hole, round peg goes in round hole sort of thing, right? And you'd think that would be pretty easy, but we just found out a few weeks ago that Marvel Comics in the Ultimate Run decided that Black Cat's a black lady now. Um, I guess that's how we're gonna do it now. We're just gonna race swap them. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Felicia Hardy, Felicia Hootie, who cares, right? And again, like I'm not necessarily like 1000% against this because the multiverse has variations of every character out there, as it should. This is the way that the multiverse is intended to work. It's just getting a little annoying that there aren't new characters and there's just like, oh, it's just this character, but they're black now. It's this character, but they're Asian now. It's this character, but they're Latinx, uh, Latine. Are we allowed to say Hispanic anymore? I'm waiting for the black helicopters full of FBI people to try, take me away, right? I don't know. What I can say is it's getting really annoying to see this kind of like, oh, but they're just slightly different here. Everything's the same, but they're just a different race here. That kind of mattered a long time ago, right? You go taking a character like Luke Cage, right? You go take a character like Luke Cage. And Luke Cage, when he was at his peak, Heroes for Hire, Power Man kind of situations, you got him, late 70s, early 80s kind of situation. And then you just make him white. That's not the same character anymore. It can't be. Okay? And I get it. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. Now, obviously, we don't see that happen. We don't see characters switch to white. That's not a thing that happens, unfortunately. It would be funny, and I think that's kind of the problem. Is it would be funny. You get the political end of it, but I think people would laugh more than anything else. Unfortunately, probably due to the political climate that fuels a lot of these race swaps to begin with, but also just the comedic nature of considering like Ryan Gosling being cast as a variant of T'Challa. You've seen the meme, right? Of Ryan Gosling photoshopped onto the Black Panther's suit from Endgame. Not Endgame. Yeah, it was. It was Endgame. He was brought back to life in that shot. So again, you have that kind of sort of like, haha, that's very amusing. That character is white now, and that's funny kind of situation. But to do it to a character like Felicia, I guess it seems very bizarre. It's almost up there with the Jimmy Olsen thing. Like, why? What was the impetus behind choosing this character that has nothing about that kind of pinned on her? There's no underlying white supremacy. Unless are big boobs white supremacy now? Is that it? Did I miss that one? Did that go around and I missed that? I don't get on Instagram. I don't go out into there anymore. TikTok's kind of a weird place for me. I don't want to go on there and have somebody try to tell me to eat Tide Pods and dance in traffic. So I don't know. Maybe I missed that one. Maybe I missed the one where we were told that big boobs are white supremacy now. I don't know. It's probably a thing, believe me. And Felicia Hardy is incredibly guilty of that, as she's existed up into the ultimates. And again, like Sydney Sweeney fits the profile for this. She's also a hot commodity, as one might say at the moment. People are calling her a new Marilyn Monroe, not Manson. Manson's the singer. Sorry. I get my Marilyns mixed up, okay? I'm sorry. I get my Marilyns mixed up. You got Marilyn Monroe here, and it looks like Sydney Sweeney's angling for that. You've seen some of her posts recently. They're quite breathtaking, I guess you'd say. Let's put it that way. And so this is the ambiance I guess they would want to go with, is that currently Sydney Sweeney embodies this kind of femme fatale, woman on the go kind of self-determining sex icon character. And that's good. That's pretty much what Felicia is in the comics. Of course, she has more to her. She's not just Spider-Man's busty sidekick that steals stuff. There's more to her than that. But if you're starting at the base and building up from there, that's a pretty good foundation to work from, if you're asking me. We got it. We got the basics down. Big boobs, very feminine, steals things. Got it. Let's just go from there. Build up. Very simple. Whereas when you have to embrace the Ultimate Edition, they have to do all this backstory to explain all this stuff to you. They have to explain, why is Felicia stealing? Why is she doing all this stuff? Whereas my father raised me to do it. And you're like, oh, okay, I got it. Whereas this one needs to have all this political justification behind it in order to make sure that it's okay that she steals. Whereas this one's like, my dad taught me. Ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum. And that's it, and you could just go, okay, I got it, and then that's apparently, the going rage. But what I want to take away from this is this final comment here from this Twitter user here, and it says, this is in response to the Bounding post on X, and their reply is, a hot white woman in a Marvel film? Impossible. And, you have to ask yourself, how is Zendaya going to handle this when a lady who commands a larger audience, I guess you might say, when a lady who pulls the attention of the room upon her, let's put it that way. How will Zendaya deal with that? Are they going to, maintain that? Are they going to try and funnel that natural feminine competitive energy into the movie and kind of pitch these girls against each other on set and sort of that kind of thing? I don't know. Tom Holland may not survive if that's what they do, But again, you have this again. Tom Holland and Zendaya are romantically attached. At least they were the last time I checked. That may have changed. I'm not on TikTok. I told you. I don't know these things. So they may have gotten separated. But if they're not, it's going to be very awkward to see Black Cat, Sydney Sweeney, laying on top of Tom Holland with all of her talent on display. That's the word. Talent. Starts with a T. Talent on display. Yes. And that, again, what are you going to do? There's a lot of problems with how they've built this current MCU Sony joint mission Spider-Man, is that Zendaya does not represent MJ. So when it's this whole problem with Snow White that we saw with Rachel Zegler versus Gal Gadot. I almost called her Gal Gadot. I'm not Jeremy. It's Gal Gadot. But again, it's this whole problem with versing these two women who are not at all on the same beauty level. I mean, you could be mad at me, but I don't even think blind people would tell you Zendaya is prettier than Sydney Sweeney. I don't know, man. You got to come from a different planet to think that, I guess. And there you go. I mean, like, what's Peter to do now? It's no longer this top heavy redhead versus this top heavy blonde. You know, he's got a. Well, Zendaya looks a lot younger than she is. Let's put it that way. She filled out the same way a Lego brick does. So you know, what's Pete to think, right? What is a strapping young American male superhero at that? At the fourth movie, probably at the top of his game. What is he to what is he to make of that? What decision would you make? Hmm? And this is the mistake that they've made. They've written themselves into a corner by insisting that Zendaya is Mary Jane. Maybe by a different name, but this is what the character is meant to hold and represent. Add to that, Tom and Zendaya have a relationship, as I mentioned before, outside of movies. And then you have the very physical nature of Black Cat. So the filming of this movie may become salacious. You might see more TMZ coverage of it than comic book resource, if you will. I'm just saying it can get pretty hot over there, not in the fun way, you know, in the Cold War kind of way, when two ladies are competing over the same fella. And if that's the energy they want to magnify into the movie, I don't know if that's going to stay on film, you know? But you know, you let me know down in the comments how you feel about this. You made it here to the end of the video here. You just let me know how you feel about it. If you think they're going to go this far, I think they will. There's been a lot of success with what they accomplished with Deadpool and Wolverine, so it's obvious that the American that they look down on is still out there and wants to consume this media. They haven't been chased off from it. So now that they need to impress their investors, they're probably going to lean into this kind of stuff for a while. Expect the usual, you know, menagerie of stupid choices. They'll probably have her head to toe in adamantium, but, you know, completely sealed up from the neck down, you know? Because God forbid that men like women, right? We just can't have that. That's just awful, you know? That's just awful. But anyway, guys, until the next one, good luck out there.